Welcome to our LeakAlertor 6000 video series. This video will cover how to store the LeakAlertor. There may be times when you will want to store your LeakAlertor, such as when you're remodeling the bathroom or moving to a new home. At times like these, it's best to store the LeakAlertor with the battery removed. You will only need a few simple items to store the LeakAlertor: a thin flat blade like a butter knife or small screwdriver, a toothpick, the box and foam from the original packaging if you saved it, and a small bag for the battery. Do not use any sharp blades like a kitchen knife, an X-Acto knife, or razor blade. You risk damaging the sensors, circuit board, or the unit itself. To get started, lift the tank lid and set it aside. Then remove the LeakAlertor from the toilet. If any alert sounds, ignore it because you will be removing the battery. With the thin blade, insert it between the enclosure front and back pieces and lift apart. It is very important not to separate the enclosure by pulling on the sensors. This could weaken or break the connections. Feel free to use a toothpick for the next steps, but don't use anything metal. Carefully lift the circuit board from the enclosure. Turn the board over and remove the battery by pushing it out from the top of the battery holder. Gently press the circuit board, without the battery installed, onto the enclosure front, being sure to center the board onto the 6 ridges shown here. The slots at the top of the enclosure are for the sensors. Please note that there is only one correct way to fit the base onto the enclosure. Begin by holding the LeakAlertor in one hand and the enclosure base in the other as shown. Hold the base so that the small oval notch is to the left and the ridge is at the bottom. Flip the base over and onto the enclosure, with the notch facing into the board, and the smooth side of the base facing out towards the sensors. Firmly but gently press the base onto the front. You should feel the pieces snap together. Put the battery in the bag. Place the foam between the enclosure and the sensors to provide support and prevent unnecessary bending of the sensors. Put the LeakAlertor and battery in the box for storage. If you don't have the original packaging, be sure to provide support to the sensors to prevent unnecessary bending or damage. Be sure to store the unit in a way that nothing rubs, nicks, or otherwise damages the sensor leads. Store the LeakAlertor and battery in a dry, room temperature environment, and the battery can last up to 5 years in storage. When you're ready to reinstall the LeakAlertor, separate the enclosure, insert the battery, and reassemble the unit. Place the LeakAlertor back on the toilet rim. As with the original installation or when changing the battery, the unit will take about an hour to adjust to the water. Anytime after all 3 lights are flashing, flush the toilet and the LeakAlertor will go back into operation mode. Thanks for watching the Storing the LeakAlertor video. Be sure to watch the rest of the series.